Thank you. I'm very excited. Very excited to be here. I missed the first one. I had FOMO. No pun intended, but yeah, I'm glad I'm here now.
What do you want us to talk about today?
I get to choose?
Yes, you do.
So okay, the other day I was thinking if I have ever ghosted anyone or if someone has ghosted me. I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys, but is it something you've experienced?
A little.
Might be a little familiar. I honestly don't know if I've technically ever ghosted or been ghosted.
Alright, let's look up what ghosted means.
On Urban Dictionary,
So
right?
for those who don't know what ghosting is, whatever it is, I'm going to look it up. So ghosting means when a person cuts off all communication with their friends or the person they're dating with zero warning or notice beforehand. You'll mostly see them avoiding friends' phone calls, social media, and avoiding them in public.
Damn, low-key, Emily's ghosted me.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All of us.
All of us.
Yeah. I didn't even think about, like, whenever I hear ghosting, I always assume, like, a guy or dating. But I didn't think about friend ghosting, because I feel like I've done that too.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
familiar with the topic.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get in my moods. Of wanting to ghost everyone, but I'm more on like the topic of guys.
Okay.
She said, fuck us, friend.
Daisy, do you think you, according to the definition now, do you think it's
Did it say it has to be like all of a sudden? Because I don't think
I think it's an interpretation.
I think I've done it pretty, I don't know, sneakily. Like I
sneaky ghost.
slowly do it. You know, it's not just like one day don't reply ever again.
What happened?
I don't know. I feel like it's happened a couple of times where I'm just kind of like slowly.
So you slowly let them go.
Yeah.
No,
But explain,
I
like,
think
I don't-
ghosting is like all of a sudden like, where the fuck did they go?
There was one person where I just didn't respond to anymore. And they sent like maybe like 3 messages and I was just like, no.
Why did you want to ghost them? I think it's important to know why.
Why? I felt like I was trying to date someone to get to know them because I don't want to just date someone and like, oh, you're my boyfriend. I want to date someone, make sure I like them, and then we could start, you know, being like a little something like intimate or holding hands. And he was over here trying to hold my hand in public, and I'm like,
Too clingy, yeah.
I was like, I
Yeah,
like you. I mean, it was a 3rd date already, but I was like, I did it with my boyfriend, you know? I made it very clear. I had told him on the 2nd date, like, I don't want to, you know, like, I'm not down to, like, you know, just kiss or, you know, like, be all lovey-dovey with you yet. I want to get to know you and know that I like you first before I start doing it. I'm not going to just start doing that for, like, anyone,
So
you know?
he kept doing it, and then that's.
And then he did it on the 3rd day. He did it again. I'm like, okay, you did not listen to me, so bye.
Yeah, completely disregarded their
Yeah.
value.
No respect.
No respect.
The other times I do it, I don't know if that's ghosting or not, but I'll go to a bar and someone will be like, oh, you know, talk to me, like, can I get your number? I'm like, yeah, sure, but my plan is, as soon as you text me, I'm gonna block you. Like, I'm not gonna have it. Is that something?
But what if that was like your future husband?
But there's been people who do like, hey, can I get your number? And I do keep it. Like, I know who I want to,
I see.
you know, upon meeting them, I know if I'm gonna want to text them or not.
And sometimes people don't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think ghosting could show you a lot of like the other person, or even the person that's ghosting you. You could tell a lot of the type of person they are. Like, you ghosted because you felt like you weren't being respected. So the person you ghosted probably thought, what's wrong with me? Like, what did I do wrong? And he should have reflected, like,
Hey, if he would have reached out to me and asked me, I would have explained, but he did it, you know?
But
Yeah.
you did kind of tell
But
him
you
what
did tell
bugged
him.
you.
Right.
That what he was
But
doing,
if he
what
wants,
you didn't like.
if he wants to later on be like, why didn't she text me back? Then
You'll explain it.
then if he wants to ask, I'll explain to him.
But
he
I mean,
did.
if you like completely just ghost people like with no warning or
Like,
anything,
regard.
Yeah, like,
then
there's no
it's just like,
reason
well, what
to.
the hell did I do? What happened?
Yeah, and you have to reflect on that. Like,
But
okay, I
guys
was
don't
ghosted. Why?
Yeah, do guys actually
No,
reflect?
guys don't reflect. They're gonna be like, okay, well, fuck this bitch.
No,
Bye.
I think they have the little thing.
I think we be talking to 2 different kind of guys, bro. Because
Everyone is gonna have like that insecurity of
Yeah,
like,
there's
oh,
guys
why
that-
Yeah,
did I-
ghosting definitely brings out that insecurity in
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah, but I don't think they sit there and reflect.
No, I don't think they're in their room listening to drink like, oh man, like, you
Yeah.
know, but I'm pretty sure they're at that moment they're kind
I'm
of
sure
like,
they think
fuck.
about
Okay,
it.
you know what? Actually, that guy was a blind date that a friend set me up on, and I don't think he reflected on it because afterwards, you know, like the next time I hung out with that friend, it was way later too, maybe like 6 months later. I hung out with that friend, and she mentioned something about like, oh, you're talking to your ex again or something, right? And I was like, what? No, I told you like. You sent me on a blind date because I've been single. Like, what are you talking about? So I started thinking, oh, she thinks I stopped talking to that guy she set me up with
Yeah.
because I started talking to my ex. He did not sit and think like, oh yeah, she told me what not to do and I still went and did it. That's why she stopped talking to me.
And even then, even if he would have reflected, I don't think that he would have probably like connected the dots.
They don't want to think they did something wrong.
No.
Sometimes.
Sometimes guys are very
Well,
no men were
For example, I was thinking, I've never been ghosted, but I was ghosted once.
You were?
Yeah.
What happened?
Everybody
Her face is like.
Tell us more. Tell us more.
She looks
So we went on like couple dates, and all of a sudden we were texting and it was just like no response. I'm not the type to like double text or respond after I don't get a response, so I just left it at that. And I knew after a while I was ghosted, and I know why. Like I reflected on it. I know why I was ghosted.
Why were you
Why?
ghosted?
Because I'm pretty sure he found out I had a boyfriend. Mind you, that relationship was done with, but yes, I was in a relationship.
I was mentally tapped
I
out,
was mentally tapped out.
but physically it was still up in
But
there.
it still hurt. It still made me feel like, why was I ghosted? But
It's
it
your
was
pride.
because he
You have
mean
pride.
it.
It's
It
a
mean-
shot to your ego for sure.
Did I just, ouch.
Bitch, imagine you have him finding Juana's boyfriend.
No, imagine him walking like for happy hour, like let's say Yard House, and there you are making out, having lunch. Okay, no worm.
You guys order a cake, happy 5th anniversary.
But it could have been like, I don't think I've ever ghosted anyone because I feel like that's just mean. It's like disrespectful.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. Like if I'm gonna stop talking to you, I'll tell you. It's gonna hurt your feelings, but I think it's gonna hurt less than if I were to just.
What if they're not
Yeah.
respecting you? Because sometimes, like, even if you do tell them no, they still
Okay, no,
respond.
that's the case, but that's never happened to me. They usually, you
that's
know,
why. Like mine was.
But that's what I'm saying.
Disrespect.
In my case, when I was ghosted, I would have respected you if you would have been like, this is the reason why. Even if you said, bitch, you have a boyfriend, like, what's wrong with you? I still would have known why. You know?
We need that explanation.
And because this is someone that we had mutual friends with, so I'm gonna see you eventually. Like, you could have,
Yeah, that's
you know,
awkward.
that's kind of awkward, but.
True.
And you could give the reason that like, hey, I'm not talking to you anymore because you have a boyfriend block. But it's still like,
It's still like, okay.
you still, you know,
Respect.
Guys are
Respect.
stupid in that sense.
Yeah.
I think we think about it more.
Yeah, I could say I probably ghosted somebody, a couple people before, but they're not like that serious. Like when I used to work at 3rd Street, I'd like want free Starbucks from the baristas, so like I'd flirt a little bit and then give them my number, and then once they wanted to hang out, I'd just be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy, and then like never go to Starbucks again.
Or going through all of them.
How are you gonna ban yourself from Starbucks?
Well, I mean, I'd like peek a little bit, see if they're there. If they're there, then I won't go.
I will coffee bean today.
how many Starbucks are on 3rd Street?
There's
There's two.
Starbucks and a coffee bean.
I used to work at the Starbucks on 3rd Street.
I'll tell you another day. I'll tell you another day.
Watch it be there.
Shut the fuck. No names.
That's like a super ex-boyfriend.
But yeah, so then I would do that, or like I met this one guy at the little convenience store right next to Starbucks, and like we were chatting it up, whatever. He asked for my number. I'm like, oh yeah, like you can totally text me, and then I blocked his number right as he texted me, and then I never saw him again, so that's fine.
That's
But yeah, I feel like that's the only time I've ghosted somebody.
I always have a damn man, so I don't get the opportunity to go.
You haven't.
Hello, what happened?
Well, have you
Shut up,
ghosted a
bitch.
friend?
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. I think yeah. Honestly, yeah, I ghost friends. Like, not in a sense, like, I feel like they all know why you're getting ghosted, but like, I'll lose
I've kind of
the interest in the sense of like even wanting to like, yeah, I'm done with you. Like, it's time to cut you off. And yeah, I mean, Dad and
Yeah, I was
ghosted
gonna
each other
say.
a little bit.
Vanessa and I kind of ghosted each other for a little bit, but we're back and we're better than ever.
Better
It's
than
fine.
ever.
Would you guys consider ghosting someone that like you gave your number to like at a club or something, and then they text and you're like, ew, who is this? Or oh, I remember him, ew, and then you just don't text back, or even like DMs when someone DMs you and you just don't want to like respond. Is that ghosting?
I
Because I do that all the time.
Well, in a sense, if they like, are you saying like they DM'd you once and you never replied?
Yeah, like,
that's just you don't reply.
That's just
ignoring.
ignoring.
What is it? That's ignoring. There you
That's
go.
yeah.
I think ghosting is when you have. I think ghosting is more of a serious thing when you have like a relationship
Well, it just
with
says-
someone.
Or talking, like
It could be like talking,
Well, any type
the
of
beginning
not-
stages.
Yeah, any type of
like a lot of
Connection.
connection.
A lot of
Connection. That connection is
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
after one day.
after ghosting, if you're in a relationship, no, y'all broke up.
Yeah.
No,
that ain't
ghosting.
ghosting.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
No, I
is
think
before.
it's just communication or like avoiding people in general. That's what I take away from the definition.
Yeah.
After the initial contact.
Yeah.
After initial
Yeah,
contact.
Like Diana, you hella ghosted the manager at Saddle Ranch.
Oh.
Oh.
She wrote the free bullet said, I don't know.
You got a free bowl.
So that's a ghost.
I mean, but what was the initial form of communication? The photo booth?
Yeah, the photo booth.
But like that
I
was
mean, you,
that's what I mean.
I mean, you communicated.
Wait, I feel like I need to know more about this.
No, but that's
No,
what
but
I mean.
that's another podcast.
That's
Okay.
like one night. You guys had like one night, like a couple hours at the Saddle Ranch, and then the next day it's like
for like
bye.
15 minutes.
That's not ghosting.
Oh, that's not ghosting.
Yeah, I think ghosting is you've been talking back and forth
Yeah,
a couple
no,
days,
100%,
maybe
yeah.
gone on like one date.
I mean, he did see me at Cabo after and told me that I was,
She did find his Instagram.
yeah.
Why? If you were just gonna ghost him.
I mean, I,
Curiosity.
you know, this is not an important conversation.
Yeah, okay. You, Vivi, or Emma?
I've been ghosted.
Okay.
Pretty bad.
You have.
Oh, you have.
Hey.
I feel like we all got ghosted on that one.
Yes.
It was a group ghost.
This story, I mean, it still kind of hurts. But no, there was someone I was talking to for a couple months, but
Religiously.
really, yes, it was pretty serious, and it was long distance. So, but to make a long story short, this is someone that I would talk to every single day. That I wanted him to meet my friends. He was talking up a good story. He wanted to fly me out. He was gonna come see me.
Sent your flowers.
Sent me flowers. Made it seem like that this
was
was gonna be potentially something.
Like he was
serious.
invested.
Yeah,
Yes.
you put a lot of effort
He
into
did
it, for
invest
sure.
If you're
Especially
gonna be talking so much on the phone and like spending time, that's time he was on.
She hella would ignore my calls and FaceTime
I-
because she
yeah.
was busy or whatever.
This guy was like, and he was a good person. After I stopped talking, after he ghosted me, I started seeing that there was red flags that I could have, I'm sure we're all blinded to red flags in the beginning, but long story short, this was probably the definition of ghosting. This could probably take the cake, the
Yes.
trophy of ghosting. From literally one day to the next. Actually, no, 1 minute to the next. We're in the middle of a conversation. This was after, a couple months of talking, after he was planning on a trip coming out here to LA. He changed his number on me in the middle. I'm crying. In the middle of a conversation. And I have not spoken to him since. And when you were saying earlier, I was like, how it hurt you, it kind of hurts your self-esteem. You're like, what did I do? For months, I was wondering, and they've all heard me cry, they've all heard me, like, what did I do wrong?
Into the number for sure.
Because
Yeah.
when someone ghosts you, and when someone stops talking to you out of nowhere, no closure, and closure is a very important thing for me personally. When no closure at all, it leaves you wondering,
Yeah.
what the hell did I do wrong? What's going on? Am and to the fact that like I still haven't got that closure, and I'm better now. I'm okay. I survived. I moved on. You guys can do it too.
I'm alive, but I'm dead.
I'm alive, but I'm dead. Yeah, that one did one.
and that's
But
awesome.
honestly, that would hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think. Oh, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
I think for you guys too.
I think like if it was a relationship or someone you're dating that's like out of LA, guess what? I know where you live. You're gonna talk to me. You're gonna give me closure. But the fact that he was out of state, like you couldn't just drive to his house, catch him at work, and be like, dude, what the fuck?
No
Like,
social media.
No
No
social
social
media. Yeah, so he was just hard to find. I mean,
To track down.
And it was
I found him.
I almost caught a flight out there. The
but-
crazy part was he was on a trip and he did end up in LA. And it's like he is so close, but you didn't know where he was at what time. I mean, we saw the pictures after where he was at. Wow,
Yeah.
he was right
Some
there.
feds.
No, we were some feds, man.
It's just crazy how you
But we were
think you
doing
know
it.
someone.
Yeah, we were doing it to help you feel better about
But
the
that's
situation.
what I mean
Oh, that's
by
my go-to
it's
pleasure.
him ghosting you really like affected your self-esteem, and you like probably wonder why. What did I do wrong?
Right.
But it also says a lot about the ghoster. Like he obviously had some type of issue, something going on for him to just do that, because he seemed to be a pretty cool guy, and then for him to just flip like that, something's off.
Yeah.
Something like meant to, I don't know, but something's
Yeah, and
off.
once you deal with like the heartbreak and like, I'm like, okay, I really have to let him go. She really did see the red flags, and then at the end of the day, it's like, you know what? I'm glad I found out the type of
Exactly.
person you were, because God forbid, like you were even more invested months later, and he did it. Like it was
Sometimes
a blessing in
ghosting is
disguise.
a blessing, yeah.
But it is, there's something mentally wrong if you plan to ghost someone to the fact that, to the point that you're changing your number
Right.
and
That's
then
extreme.
for the last couple of days before you're gonna ghost someone, you're still doing major things to lead them on, because he was being super sweet till the very
Yeah, he was still
end.
calling
It's a
you
coward
like
thing.
You coulda-
little names like
yeah.
babe and like all of that. Like I'm gonna FaceTime you soon. Why do all that?
Why do that? Exactly.
Why?
Why?
Like yeah.
That's what I mean. It just showed that there was something off, that he just never showed you that side of him.
Yeah,
And it's better off like that, because you don't want to figure what that was.
it is.
Right.
And I will say, like, I've done my fair share of ghosting, but honestly, ever since like Emma's experience, I've made it a point, as uncomfortable as it is for me. And I know it maybe it's because I'm like a bitch, maybe it's because I'm being a little selfish. I'm barely like empathetic, so I hate hurting people's feelings. And even though like that's technically like me telling you straight up, I don't like you, I don't want to talk to you, would probably be less of a hit than me completely ghosting you, not giving you an explanation. You're right. It is honestly, you are being a coward, like by doing that, because that is what I would, I
See, that's why I've never ghosted. That I know of, because I probably
yeah,
had
and it's a different reason. It is, and
How would you ghost?
well, every guy is different. Like, no, and I'm not saying I've had 100. I'm just saying
I have different strategies.
no. Some were like what Daisy said earlier. I felt very disrespected, and it was like, you know what, you're not even worth my time. Like, if you didn't care enough to acknowledge what I wanted, I don't care enough to give you an explanation.
And I think that's a valid reason though.
Right, but I'm saying there's different ones.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like after I had gone out of a relationship, I tried going on a date too soon after, and this guy was super, super nice.
No.
But I had no business being in there. Like, as soon as I was there, I was like, I don't want to be here. And I left that day with kind of an excuse. I remember Daisy had wanted some kind of food.
Yeah, like, can you pick up food since you're in the area?
And mind you, like, I had gotten there, like, what, 6? By 7, I was like, oh my god, my family needs food. I have to go. And I just,
It was true. My mom wanted pollo eating.
no, but when the day was over, end of the day, like, after an hour,
She was like, I'm gonna leave my potential future with you because my family's hungry.
yeah. And then
Sorry.
I left, and for days after, he was like, yo, what happened? What did I do? And
Oh.
I know, and
Uh-uh.
because I was like, should I block him so he stops hitting me up? But then I feel even worse. I just didn't know what to say. I felt so bad. And that was just because, like, I knew I wasn't emotionally ready, and I put myself in that situation. That was all on me.
Yeah.
Or, like, but then there's also weirdos. Like, I went on another date, and on that same first date, within, like, an hour, that guy was like, oh, by the way, mind you, this was, like, a Thursday. Our first time meeting ever in person. And he said he had his his nephew's birthday party on Saturday. He's like, you want to go with me? I was like, why would you want me to go with you? Like, you don't know me enough. We haven't even got appetizers yet. Like, where's my drink? I'm like, how are you gonna invite me to your nephew's birthday party? To me, that's kind of like,
It's a big step.
yeah, and that's a red flag for me. It's like, okay, so you're just projecting whatever you want onto me, and that honestly, and even then, maybe I still wasn't ready to date. So that freaked me out. That someone wanted to rush something so quick. So it freaked me out. And that person I felt a little bit more bad because I had talked to him for a few months. Not a few months, okay, that's for a few weeks. And it was kind of like excitement leading up to this first date. But that and a couple other things, like him referencing his sister's my cuñada and shit like that, like freaked me out. It was too serious, too fast. I was like, even as a joke, like I know it can be lighthearted and funny, and that's what I first took like the jokes as, like the cuñada stuff. But then when I was actually invited to the family party, where I knew like he would have his mom, his dad, his sisters, his brothers, I don't know who all. I was like, no, you shouldn't want to bring me. I could be a psychopath. You know?
Did you ever explain to him?
No, I just ghosted him.
Oh,
All of the,
okay,
I never stopped. I just ghosted them.
It's because sometimes it is easier to just
It
leave than to have to give an explanation, and you know it's gonna, like, they're gonna want to say no, but why? So it is easier. That's why I don't think I've ghosted, but I have made excuses or like made up things that just to say something.
But yeah, sometimes I'll do that. I'll keep making excuses until they're tired of my shit.
Yeah.
And then they technically ghost me, so it's kind of like I have the upper hand. But I will say, ever since you, like, I have, like, you know, continued dating, but after that, I've been kind of like, I'm gonna vocalize if I don't want you. So now it's kind of like, I'm supposed to say things back.
Yeah, you have to learn to, like, just say it and not just ghost.
Rip the Band-Aid.
After a couple times of making excuses, once they ghost you, it is like they understood what you were doing.
Yeah,
Like,
oh, for sure. I know why they
so
did it.
it's fair. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's like balls in your court. Do with it what you will.
yeah.
Type of thing.
And I feel bad. I'm not gonna say I don't. That's why, to me, it's crazy that I do feel bad, like, because when I get the text messages the next day or something, or a couple of days later, or they'll be like, are you okay? I'm like, oh, they actually think something's, like, wrong with me. Like, I'm not doing okay. Like, I'm not responding. And I'm like, I want to tell you, yeah, but it was just, I wasn't into it. And I don't know why I couldn't just say it. I don't know if I don't want to hurt their feelings, if I was being a coward, selfish, I was putting myself before them, like, but after seeing what you went through, I'm like, damn, like, I didn't realize people really felt this shitty about it. And given yours was more extensive and deep, but regardless, it's a hit to your ego. It is.
It's a hit to your, like I said, you start to reflect. You don't, like, for me at least, I wasn't really thinking about, I still was thinking about him. It's just crazy. I was still like, okay, what can I have done differently? Did I say something wrong? Did I get him mad? Like, and then now I'm starting to realize, okay, it was him. This fool had issues. He probably, at the end, like, he probably was married. He probably had kids. He probably had a whole thing. But, like, you know what? If you see
Or
If you don't have any social media, you're probably married.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That's what Emma's trying to convey.
You have a secret family for sure.
yeah. It's
And if
just,
you got a WhatsApp,
No.
you got a secret family in Mexico.
I don't think he was married because I googled him and you could see that.
I googled him too.
Yo.
We, you know what?
We are feds. I
I mean, so
I just
that's what
wanted-
he had to do. That's how I found out he had a SoundCloud, and then that he had modeling experience or whatever.
You had modeling experience?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
mean, she found all his
She had looked like little Marianne.
Oh, Marion, yeah.
At least
We
you found things. Don't you get mad when you want to find something and it's just like Google 0, everywhere,
what happened.
Instagram 0.
No, I always
Who
find
you
out what I
talking
want
to?
to find out.
Yeah, I always find what I want to find.
I mean, sometimes I
And
do, but it'll be like Pinterest. Like, I don't want to see your
If you
Pinterest.
can't find it, Miriam, just let Vanessa know. She'll
Yeah, I
find
find
it for you.
everything.
Oh.
Girl,
No, I find it too.
the other
Sometimes it's
day, she was like, "Girl, I can't find it." Blah blah. I was like, "Give me a minute,"
Literally, when I'm struggling, I send it to Vanessa
and I
get my
find it.
answers.
And that's why I always say, like, if I can't find that person, they don't have social media. But then the thing is, they might not have an Instagram, they might not have a Facebook, but guess what? They might have a Twitter.
Or
they might have a Venmo.
or a LinkedIn.
They might have exactly. They might have a TikTok.
No, that's what I mean though. Like
There's other
they
stuff.
might
Yeah.
have, they might
You're
have
not
a Pinterest,
always-
but
you're
what
not
am I
gonna be
gonna see
100%.
on Venmo? Or I want to see like something like juicy.
No, but that leads up. So sometimes, let's say you have a Venmo, and that's your full name. Right, but on Instagram, you don't want your coworkers or like people to see that. So your thing might be Gymshark24.
True.
You know,
Right.
so what you have to do, you have to find other different social medias that will link some kind of like clue.
Or, for example,
This turned into How to Fed 101.
Yeah, honestly, I shouldn't give away my
If
secret.
you honestly, if you find, let's say, like a mutual Venmo friend or something, not mutual, but one of their Venmo friends, you can then look up their Instagram, find them.
I've done that.
And to add on that, okay, yeah, this is some good juicy. Okay,
Speaking of
so
Venmo.
sometimes the thing is, like, you'll go on mutual friends, and you don't want to look for like a Diana Martinez because it could be it could be a common name.
Yeah.
But if there's a Sochi Guayaba, I'm sorry, I don't know why they came with, but that's not a common name. So I'm gonna look up that friend.
Yeah.
And when I find that friend,
Yes.
now let me
Oh my
look at
God.
your friend.
Come on, great.
I just did that a couple days ago and I found my answers, bro.
So
it
that's the
works.
thing, you have to go in different directions sometimes. So,
Yeah.
but you get what you want, you find it.
You find the mom on Facebook.
If you really want
the
it,
sister on
you
Twitter, you could find.
I think yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I
Emily
know.
found the guy's sister, and we were lurking on,
Mhm.
his sisters.
And it's Thea.
So,
I wonder if guys do this.
Not to this extent, it's not.
No,
You look
right?
at our Instagram, our tag photos, and call it a day. Maybe our story highlights.
You guys mentioned Venmo, and you brought up, you triggered something.
PTSD.
I forgot to mention in my previous, in my story a little while ago. So obviously this guy didn't have social media. He deactivated, all he had was Facebook. He deactivated or blocked me, I don't know. Couldn't find him on Facebook. There was no way, when you get ghosted and you get cut off like that, you have so many questions. I had so many questions. I wanted to know why. Like, I wanted to know. I had no other way of communicating with him, but I found his Venmo. So I was very close to doing it. I wasn't gonna do it. I was thinking about it, but I had a message ready to send it to him through Venmo. That's how low I felt. Like I was.
You know on Venmo, when on the feed you can see people send money for like letters.
Imagine just the paragraph of like Emily. How could you?
This is a Ricky mix.
I have 3 different versions. Okay, I had a very simple, like you gotta call me.
Is
right
it
when
only
what
like
happened.
80 characters?
Bitch,
Yeah.
I would take
No.
the money
She was
and
gonna
never
say
talk to you again. The fuck?
She's gonna have all these different transactions.
No, well, I was gonna send like a
request?
request, and I was gonna send a request or wasting my time. That was another one. So I had different versions. They saw them all.
you were gonna say like $1 for my time. I'm like, your time is worth more than that.
No, yeah. I mean, I've never done anything so petty, but being ghosted will bring you to this level. It will make you insane.
No, it's your pride.
It makes you
That's
insane.
why.
That's why.
And
it makes
honestly-
you crazy.
I will say that I hate my ego being hurt. So after, again, seeing what you went through, I'm like, damn, like if someone ever did that shit to me, especially to that extent, I know for a fact my ego would be hurt. And then, so we can all try to be better people though.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about ghosting someone, don't do it.
Yeah,
But that's the
don't do it.
thing.
Don't
If,
do
if you are ghosted and you do feel like
Unless
your
you're
ego
really-
is hurt or you're super prideful or whatever, you also have to think of the person. Like, okay, this is how I feel, but they did it for a reason. Let me focus on that. What is their reason? I mean, you're always gonna think the negative side of yourself, like, oh, maybe it's because I was in this or that. But they also have some fucked up shit going on in their lives that they're like him. I really think it was something.
Yeah, like-
it was his problem.
Yeah.
Like it had nothing to do with you.
It's like you guys all felt it. They were all
Yeah.
excited.
I understand what you're saying, but I think that's the whole point of why ghosting leaves so many kind of like what ifs and like open ended like unfinished
Yeah.
business or whatever, because you don't know if it really was with you or with them, and you really will never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So you gotta learn how to give yourself your own closure and just
Yes.
Move on.
Move on.
Yeah, move on. You
What
go.
is it?
Move
It
on,
is what it
sis.
is.
It is what.
Oh no.
It-
It is what it is, and it is what it be. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I think we can close out this episode. Actually, we can end it on that.
Yep. It is what it is. It is what it is. And it is what it be.
So stay tuned for our next juicy topic. It will be juicy.
I hope you guys loved having Lil Muram up in here.
She will definitely be in more.
I'll rap for you guys.
I'm holla back at you. Alright, so we're gonna close out.
Bye.
Bye.